Hey everyone, welcome back to Covetous Imp Gaming. Today I want to talk to you guys about the announcements that were made at D&D Direct yesterday, April 21st. Do us a favor, like this video, leave us a comment below about things you would like to see in the future, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're alerted to our future content, and check us out on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. And if you do those things, I will petition the dice gods to get you a nat 20 in your next game. So, as I said, D&D Direct was their new announcement system. It happened yesterday, April 21st, 2022, and they announced a ton of new content. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before I get into this first book, I want to give a big shout out to Wizards of the Coast for taking steps to remove a lot of the underlying racism that has been in D&D books over the past 50 years, namely the Drow, the Orcs, the Vistani and Ravenloft. They were all very harsh reflections of things that exist in our own world or cultures that exist in our world. With that being said, the next book that is coming out is Journey Through the Radiant Citadel, and it's due out in June. Now, this book will be very reminiscent of Tales from the Yawning Portal. It's 13 short adventures. The big difference is these are all brand new adventures, designed to be a one or two shot, but they're all written by authors from around the world. So you're getting basically these kind of cultural snapshots from places around our world in D&D. The next thing they announced was a new starter set coming out. And while Phandelver does tend to rank pretty high in the overall category of pre-printed adventures, I think that Phandelver does fall a little short in you have to be very hand wavy and it's hard to get from A to B and from B to C sometimes when people are trying to be creative and really embrace what D&D is all about. You have to kind of stick to this path. And then there are the forks off to the sides that just kind of peter out into nothing when you do them. So I hope that the new adventure that is in the new starter set kind of takes away the mistakes that they made in Phandelver and fixes those. That being said, I do think that the first chapter of Phandelver is a great way to introduce people to D&D, get them through a very hard fight at the end, and then instead of starting at level 1, you're starting at level 2, and you can put your players into whatever adventure you're going to run. The next thing they talked about was the Monstrous Compendium, which is a throwback to the 2nd edition Monster Manual. That's going to be an online-only monster manual that you can access just by having a Wizards account. Their next two announcements were massive throwbacks to my childhood, and I don't think in the last 24 hours that I've stopped smiling about it. The first one, I watched the introduction cinematic and I was floored. I was like, there's no way this is happening. And then it happened. Spelljammer is coming to 5th edition. Spelljammer was the first campaign setting that I played D&D in way back in, I don't want to talk about what year it was. And I've got to say, like, from watching Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy, watching Star Trek as a kid, to be able to have D&D and be a group that's exploring space and just trying to find your way, like in Star Trek, or to be able to be a group of murder hobos and go around in space pirating and stealing and jumping onto other ships and killing the crew and getting a better ship, or being a smuggler, anything like the world is your oyster in D&D, and now the multiverse is your oyster in Spelljammer. Spelljammer is bringing 6 new races. It's coming out as a box set, and it's due out in August, and I could not be more excited. They went on to announce a Wizards-hosted D&D stream that will be Legends of the Multiverse, and that looks to be taking place in the Spelljammer universe by the characters that were spoiled. So check that out. I believe it starts as early as next week. Their last announcement was another big one for me. And when Fizzbands came out and I saw some of the weapons and I saw some of the monsters, I was immediately taken back to my youth. And I was so excited, and I hoped that someday this day would come, and I thought for sure that I was waiting until 2024 to see it. But that's not the case. Dragonlance is coming at the end of this year, and the adventure that they're bringing is called The Shadows of the Dragon Queen. In playing D&D, we spend a lot of time in dungeons, but we don't find a lot of dragons, and I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I'm pretty sure you're going to find an adventure that is chock full of dragons, ending with a battle with the Dragon Queen herself. So those are the announcements, guys. I am excited. Like I said, I have not stopped smiling, I feel like, in all day. What are you guys excited about? Let me know in the comments below. What do you want videos about? I would love to talk about any of these settings. I am floored that both of these settings are coming this year, and I can't wait to bring them to the tables. As usual, thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you soon.